G'day and welcome to another episode of Built by Dan. In today's episode, I'm going to be revealing the next project to be joining the Built by Dan channel. As you can see behind me, I've purchased a lot of stuff for this build and I've tucked the GT40 away in the corner so I've got plenty of room to work on the new car. So without further ado, let me bring the car into the garage and I'll give you a bit of a tour and show you what it is. Okay, so here it is. It is a brand new 2021 Ford Everest, or in some parts of the world it's also called an Endeavour. Now this is a special edition called the Base Camp, available in Australia. It comes with a number of sort of coloured accents, such as the wheels are in a dark grey, the front bumper accents are the dark grey rather than the light grey. It comes with the front nudge bar and LED light bar. Look up on top, there's roof racks, a roof tray and an awning. Genuine Ford snorkel, and it also comes with a tow bar and leather interior. I'll take you inside and give you a quick tour of the interior. As I said, we've got the leather trim upgrade. Everything else is very similar to the Ford Ranger, which it's largely based off. Obviously just the SUV version rather than the pickup. So this is obviously quite a different build to the GT40. We are doing a full drive build or an Overland build, and basically the reason for that is that the family has been keen to go camping for quite some time, but we've just never had a suitable setup that would allow us to be able to do that. So time came to purchase a new car for my partner, and we decided on the Ford Everest as a good sort of all-round vehicle, good family car for day-to-day driving around, as well as having the capability to be able to go off-road and be able to go camping and access all those areas that we want to get to and see a little bit of this amazing state that we live in. So, quick summary of what we're going to do with the vehicle. First off, we're going to do a full vinyl wrap. We're going to go a two-tone. We've already picked the colour. It's sort of like a teal green with a gloss black top. And we'll be fitting it out with all of these accessories. So we have a large rooftop tent sitting up the back there. We've got a winch. We've got a portable battery pack, lithium batteries, so that we're basically self-sufficient with solar charging. We've got the fridge. We've got all the general sort of camping accessories that you would need: table, picnic set, utensils, barbecue, for cooking on the fire, as well as cooking in the vehicle. I've got a large drawer to mount in the back, fridge slide so that we can easily access the fridge. So the aim of this build will be to start off with wrapping the vehicle and getting it all protected so that when we do go off-road, we're not causing any damage to the paint, trees and scrub brushing up against the vehicle. And then I'll move into either fitting out the rear of the SUV with the drawer set up, the fridge slide, getting the battery set up and everything sorted. The vehicle is a 7-seater, so it does have a third row seat in the boot basically. They will be removed, and I'll be using those mounting points to fabricate up a steel frame that I can then mount a ply board to then fix the drawer and the fridge slide to. Everything else will largely get packed in around that once that's installed, with the exception of the rooftop tent, which will obviously go on the roof. Now, although the vehicle already comes with a roof rack and awning, unfortunately the roof rack that's supplied by Ford in this pack is not adequate to carry the load that we need for the rooftop tent. In fact, I think they've come into a bit of strife over the use of the marketing images that were used to advertise the vehicle, depicting a much greater load on the roof racks than what it can actually carry. So I'm in the process of, well, I've purchased and I'm in the process of waiting for it to be delivered, a new roof rack system that will be able to hold the weight of our rooftop tent and the awning so that we can safely go off the sealed roads, off the beaten track, to do some overlanding. So I don't intend to sort of go through and open all the boxes for this episode. What I do want to do though is get stuck straight into wrapping the vehicle. So that's exactly what I'm going to get into. I'm going to start with some of the easy panels, and once I start to get a bit more comfortable, I've never vinyl wrapped a vehicle but watched plenty of YouTube videos. So once I'm comfortable with some of the easier panels, I'll then start pulling apart some of the other pieces of the vehicle so that we can wrap some of the more difficult panels later. I chose to start the vinyl wrapping process with the bonnet being a large, relatively flat panel that would allow me to learn a range of wrapping skills under the guidance of my brother-in-law. I'm lucky enough to have a brother-in-law who works in the signage industry and has experience in vinyl wrapping vehicles, including private, company fleet vehicles and promotional vehicles, including Formula Ones. If you're based in Melbourne, Victoria, or anywhere in Australia really, and you're looking for custom vinyl graphics, stripe kits, stickers, signs, or screen printing of clothing, consider reaching out to Mr. B Screen Printing for your next project. I'll include their details in the description. The vinyl that I'm using is by 3M. The body of the Everest is being wrapped in Atomic Teal 1080 series, and the roof and accents will be Gloss Black 2080 series. I don't intend for this to be an instructional video on how to wrap a vehicle, but a few of the skills we worked through whilst wrapping the bonnet included measuring and cutting the vinyl, allowing for adequate overhang, initial application of the vinyl, so just sort of stretching it out by hand, removing the bulk of the large wrinkles, applying the vinyl, so whether that be by squeegee at a 45-degree angle to push out any air bubbles underneath the vinyl, heating and stretching to lay the vinyl into recesses, iron out smaller wrinkles at change in panel angle, or using a hand with a cotton glove to get into tighter angles. Trimming the edges, using a finger as a guide along the edge of the panel to offset the knife to leave enough material to be able to tuck it underneath. Tucking the corners, that was actually quite difficult. So to try and get a nice clean finish, how you go about sort of stretching the vinyl around the corner and then making some convenient cuts so that it all wraps underneath nicely without too many wrinkles. And post-heating the vinyl, and that's to reset the memory of the vinyl in its new form now that it's been wrapped around a panel. So as I said earlier, I've never vinyl wrapped a vehicle before, and whilst it can often look quite simple on YouTube videos, it does take a bit of practice and trial and error to build up the confidence and skills required to do a good quality install. So with the bonnet now fully wrapped, I'm really happy with the colour that we went with. It basically sort of sits between a couple of factory Ford colours that were available here in Australia, and that's really what I was going for. We wanted the teal, but the fact that it can match a factory colour, that it'd probably have people thinking twice as to whether it is a factory colour that vehicle is available in, or if it is a vinyl wrap, is a really good outcome. So that's it for this episode and the introduction of the new build for the channel. Hopefully some of you find overlanding or these four-wheel drive builds of interest. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Leave a comment below if you think that there's anything else that I should be considering doing to this vehicle. I'm not looking to go too overboard, but I do want something that's reasonably capable and has all the basics that I would need to be able to comfortably head out with the family and essentially be safe and have everything that we need to be able to get by. I look forward to you joining me for the next installment of this build, where I'll start the removal of the rear seats and fabrication and installation of the rear drawer and fridge slide setup.